So Sports Interactive skipped an entire year, and now Football Manager 26 is finally here. With a move to the Unity engine and women's football formally integrated, I'm here to tell you if it's actually worth your time. Look, FM24 was exactly what a football management sim should be. The tactical depth was there, the match engine worked, and yeah, the UI looked a bit dated, but it worked. You knew where everything was, and after a few seasons managing your club just felt natural, But it had its issues. The whole thing ran on an engine that was clearly showing its age, so that's the challenge here. Can FM26 justify this massive Unity engine switch while actually fixing what didn't work? Or did Sports Interactive break something that wasn't really broken to begin with? After spending serious time with the beta, pushing through multiple seasons, testing every new system, I think I've got a pretty good feel for what this game actually is. Let's start with the Unity engine, because that's the foundation everything else is built on. The promise here is better graphics, smoother performance, more responsive menus, and a platform that can carry the series forward for the next 20 years. And some of that promise actually delivers. The match engine visually is a genuine upgrade. Dynamic lighting combines with realistic pitch shaders that actually look reflective when it rains, parched in the heat, snow-covered in winter. Stadium designs got refreshed too, from massive arenas down to grassroots grounds. The player animations got a serious upgrade this year. Hundreds of new ones pulled straight from Hawkeye data, and you can tell right away. Dribbles feel smoother, passes look clean, and players actually move like they've got weight to them. Players don't just glide anymore. They stride with purpose. They bait defenders. They actually move like real footballers. It's easily the best the match engine's ever looked. But the problem is, once you step outside the match, things get a bit messy. The engine's great, but the rest of the game doesn't always keep up. And that brings us to the UI. Sports Interactive kept saying before launch that it's just muscle memory, that we're used to the old system and anything new will feel wrong. Give it time. Learn the new layout and it'll click. I gave it time. I've put in dozens of hours. I know where the shortlist is. I know how to check squad dynamics. I can navigate tactics without getting lost. I'm used to it now. But that doesn't mean it works better, because it doesn't. For example, you want to check the Premier League table. You click competitions, find the Premier League, click in, and you get this cramped, ugly screen that barely shows you anything useful. And team meetings. In FM24, you just searched team meeting and clicked it and done. But now, you can't search for it. You have to dig through menus, find the right tab, hope you remember where they buried it. It's not that these features don't exist. They do. But they're clunky and require way more clicks than they should. And after a few seasons, when you're juggling multiple competitions, squad morale, transfers, and tactics, all those extra clicks become exhausting. Now, I'm not saying the UI looks bad. Without skins, I actually think it looks better than FM24 in a lot of places. It's cleaner and easier on the eyes. But looking good doesn't matter if it doesn't work well. Now let's talk about what actually does work, because there's some genuinely brilliant stuff here. The tactical overhaul is fantastic. FM26 introduces dual formations with separate shapes for in-possession and out-of-possession play. And this isn't just a gimmick, it completely transforms how you approach tactics. You can set up a 4-2-3-1 when you have the ball, but drop into a 4-4-2 defensively. You can play wide in attack, but compact in defense. You can high press aggressively, then collapse into a low block once possession turns over. And it's not just two static shapes. You can tweak individual player roles for different phases of play. Maybe your fullbacks bomb forward in attack and turn your 4-2-3-1 into a 4-2-4. Maybe your wingers drop deeper out of possession to clog the midfield. The fluidity here is incredible. It's not as visually intuitive as FM24's arrows and sliders, I'll admit that. But the tactical depth it adds, it's exactly what the series needed. I'm replicating how modern football actually works now, not just approximating it. And the fact that it ties into scouting makes it even better. I'm not just looking for good players anymore. I'm looking for players who fit my specific system. A winger who's brilliant going forward but lazy defensively? Maybe that works if my system protects him. A defensive midfielder who can't pass? It's not groundbreaking, but it actually adds some meaningful depth and lets you build squads that match your tactical philosophy instead of just signing whoever has the highest stats. And the fact that recruitment is consolidated into one hub instead of scattered across 5 different screens is a huge quality of life win. So I'm not constantly hunting through menus every time I want to check my shortlist or review contract situations. The big new thing, which I already told you, is the match engine, and it's a massive upgrade. You can watch matches in standard view or broadcast camera, and for the first time in years, I actually want to watch instead of just simulating through. The animations are smooth, player movement looks natural, and when your team scores a last-minute winner, it actually feels exciting instead of just happening. It makes you actually think about your approach to matches instead of just setting a formation and hoping for the best. That said, the match engine isn't perfect. There's still some ice skating going on occasionally, and I've seen some weird animation glitches where players just stop. But compared to FM24, this is a huge improvement. Women's football debuts here too, and it's a solid addition. 34,000 players and staff across 4,000 clubs worldwide. If you want to manage in women's leagues, the option's there. If you don't, ignore it. It's that simple. I personally haven't dived deep into it yet, but from what I've seen, Sports Interactive treated it with the same depth as the men's game. It's not just tacked on, it's properly integrated with full league structures and realistic player databases. But FM26 isn't perfect, and there are some frustrating choices that really hold it back. One big miss? The UI just doesn't work for PC players. And I don't mean it's slightly inconvenient, I mean it feels actively designed for controllers instead of mouse and keyboard. Sports Interactive literally posted a tip saying the game works better with a controller now, which, yeah, that tells you everything. Another frustration is how buried basic functions are. Checking player promises used to be 1 click. Now it's 3, and I don't even get the same information I used to. And by your 5th season, when I just want to efficiently manage my club without thinking about where things are. Not having that smooth workflow is really annoying. The beta itself launched rough. Crashes, missing back buttons on screens, visual glitches everywhere, match calculations breaking mid-season. Some of this will get patched, sure, but the sheer volume of issues is concerning. It feels rushed. Sports Interactive calls this version a foundation, promising future updates, and that makes sense. So now, is it worth buying? Well, if you're a die-hard FM fan, you're probably grabbing it anyway. And even with the flaws, there's still a great game here. The match engine alone is worth experiencing, and once bugs get patched and hopefully the UI gets some serious improvements, FM26 could genuinely be special. But right now, it's a mixed bag. Brilliant ideas held back by poor execution. If you're on the fence, maybe wait. See if Sports Interactive actually listens to feedback and fixes the interface problems. Because FM26 has potential, it just needs serious polish to get there. Now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Are you jumping into FM26 or sticking with FM24 until this gets sorted? Let me know what you think.